For the first time, I'm meeting this lady, and next guest, her name is Zora, Zora the Explorer. And I just loved when I saw that that was her nickname, because I mean, who doesn't love the Dora the Explorer books? And I think from what I've heard about you, Zora, this sums you up perfectly. You are a natural traveler. Welcome to Marbella Now.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so great to be in Marbella. All the places that I've traveled to, Marbella is pretty much my favorite place. To say it's always like coming home here. So I absolutely love it here. We're very, very fortunate to be here right now.
Where are you from originally?
Born and raised in LA, and but my roots are Ukrainian, American, Polish, kind of a little mixed Slavic mix.
Which is that exotic, lovely look that you have. I know you love to travel. You call yourself a nomad lifestyle. Can you clarify that a bit? It sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Intimidating.
Yeah, digital nomad. So I have to say, I guess it depends on your definition of a nomad. Is a nomad without a home, and I've been pretty nomadic most of my life. I grew up with parents who we lived in Brazil. We've lived in Indonesia. Then I married a man who also loves to travel, and he's French. And we met in Ukraine at the time, and I was used to every 3 years or so moving to a new place until we got to Marbella and we had kids, and we wanted to raise them here and give them some more stability. So we were here for 9 years, and then we left they finished high school in Hong Kong, and we created this digital nomad life. That when we say the word digital, it's because we want to generate income online. So if we had a brick and mortar business, we'd have to stay put, and kids also make just kind of stay put more or less. That's why we're here. So we said we want to be free. We want that freedom to do what we want when we want. And because we had internet at the time, we said, let's get involved with this, and then we can have a little bit more freedom. So ever since I gave myself sort of a digital nomad life about 2 years ago, when my daughter graduated high school, my last child, and she went to university, and we were living in Hong Kong, and my husband and I said, well, you know, there's no need to actually stay put in Hong Kong anymore because the kids are finished with school. So we said, let's just keep circumnavigating the globe as it is, and keep creating content. I'm a content creator, and my husband as well, and my son as well, and my daughter's in university, so we'll see what happens. But when you create content or generate income online and you can move, that's the digital part. And the nomadic part is every 1 to 4 weeks we would travel to a new country. So that's been going on for the last 2 years. But now we're stuck in Marbella because of the pandemic, and it's a good place to be stuck. So I have to say we're fortunate to be here, and we got our wings clipped for now, but we'll be flying again once we know when we can. Is that clear? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. How does it you choose where you are going to go every X time? How do you throw darts on a map?
Well, it depends. I'm a health coach, and so I've been doing some kind of health retreats, right? And that would be, so I would find some of them in Switzerland, some of them in Thailand. Depends on the connections I make. I find these amazing places that are really helpful for my clients or for my friends, guests, anyone who wants to go. I check them out, and then I hold a retreat there. So that maybe depend on that. Sometimes my husband has some connection as well, can do some extra business in Kazakhstan, for example, and we say, oh, we'll go to Kazakhstan. Sometimes it may just, we have connections and friends in a certain area, or be a place we just want to explore. I mean, we love Japan, and we don't have any friends there or connections, but we tend to go back because we love it so much. Because a lot of it also, I have to be able to create content, and my position is how to slow aging, right? I'm studying aging and longevity, so I love to discover how aging populations around the world are growing older, and can we learn something from them? And I seek out those people who are thriving, they're older and thriving. I don't want the sick people. It's like, okay, although I can learn from them too. So when we went to Bhutan, it's not a place that's known for long lifespan, but I did learn a lot from them too. So it's wherever I can create content is also kind of pulls me in that direction.
Now you brought that up, what is, for example, differences that you will have noticed from people who are not generally known as having a long lifespan to those who have got the key to longevity and are just living longer and longer? What are they doing differently?
Well, it could be, it's usually down to your lifestyle habits and environment. So when I find some people who are maybe not thriving as much, it may be because there's an issue of alcoholism in the country, or maybe there'll be, for example, diabetes is a really big problem in Bhutan and in Asia in general. People think, well, they're thin. How can they have diabetes? So it's part of it is related to their diet. Very high glucose in the rice, for example, and they just consume in massive amounts. So some people have very poor social networks and no community, and it varies from country to country. And you can see that as a population, maybe medical care, having poor medical care, not a good system is that. So what's interesting is Hong Kong always gets like #1 for longevity. Like they have the longest living people on the planet. And you think, but wait a second, I live there. People are highly stressed. They're working 24/7. They work on the weekends. Kids are even studying on a Saturday and Sunday. I can see that not everyone's eating a pretty healthy diet. And how is that? And so some people would say that it's because they have really good medical care that's keeping them alive. So you can imagine if they were putting all the markers in place of having a long health span, which is the number of years you live full of vitality and free of disease, they probably live even longer.
Do they go to the doctor more often to check things out, or just when it comes to it, there's better treatment?
Well, one, it's more accessible. So Hong Kong is pretty much an island. I mean, it's 7 million people on a small area, and there's a lot of doctors, there are a lot of hospitals, so it's easy to get to, and it is it's not like in the U.S. healthcare system. People can afford to go to the doctor, and they're qualified. They're really good, and they've got good technology and good doctors. So this all helps a lot. So that's just part of it. It's one of the reasons. So it's so many reasons why some people may live a longer life in a good condition, because that's all I care about right now. I don't want to live a long life and be sick half the time. So I seek out those little tips and how to extend our lifespan, but in a good condition, and then adapt it to a modern lifestyle or a Western lifestyle. Because sometimes I find these things in Asia, and you're like, well, wait a second, I don't live in a mountain in Bhutan. And like, how do we do that? Or to help my clients as a health coach, like, okay, we can't quite replicate some of these things exactly. But we can learn from that and adapt it.
And then you apply this information towards, I suppose, nutrition and lifestyle for the different people who consult you, so that they can just feel better. Because you said the goal is not necessarily the fountain of eternal youth, but having that feeling of eternal youth, feeling that youthful energy and good
yes,
well-being.
Everybody has a different goal. So what I do is I create the content on a Facebook video or my Instagram. So I try to get little snippets and put a very short video on what are they doing here, and they can conclude that themselves and how to replicate it, or I can share that in video. I also use it towards my clients and help them reach their goals, whether it's to feel more energetic and or to lower their diabetes, or to whatever it is, have fewer wrinkles. Everybody has a different goal. Most of my clients just want to lose weight right now, so I have a lot of experience with that, and I do experiment on myself too. Of course, I like to test things out, because if I were to recommend it to somebody and I know it's pretty difficult for me, or not feasible, not realistic, I would not recommend it, or I'd recommend it with caution. A couple of precursors.
A lot of people prefer to take their own car when going out at night. However, when it comes to time to go home, that might not be the safest or wisest option. For some, just one glass of wine could put you over the legal limit, which means if you drive, you could put in yourself or others at risk. If you find yourself in this dilemma and think possibly you should not be driving, you can just give Linear Director a call. They will order and pay for a taxi, which will take you and your fellow companions who were with you in the car home with up to a 25-kilometer radius, as long as you all fit in that one taxi and you're all going to the same place. You can even ask for them to pick up your car and take that back too. And this is 7 days a week from midnight to 7 a.m. and up to 4 times a month. And this is obviously all in addition to the fabulous insurance that you get with Linear Director.
It's nice to see that philosophy following through of that personal recommendation when you were in Marbella, bringing up your children when they were younger and they went here to school, but you also created Marbella Family Fun. And I suppose that also came from your circumstances at the time. And where do I take these kids in Marbella? How do I keep them sustained?
Yes, Marbella Family Fun. It was a family project, and it came about because my husband is very much into social media and internet, and I had said, okay, at the time I was, the kids were a little bit older. I said, I want to work, I want to do something. I got to use my brain now. And I was considering a job, and he's like, why would you do that? Create something online and you could teach the kids how to create content, how to build something, and be able to work from home, because he knew I wanted to be a mom. The mom thing was like the best job in the world, and I didn't want to give that up. So, and in Spain, working the Spanish hours in the morning, and then you have a break, and then you got to go work again until, who knows, 9-10 o'clock, like that wouldn't work for me. So having a business online was a great solution, and I wanted to do something that served the community. I wanted the kids to get involved, and at the time there was just content about what restaurants there are and what to see and what beach and the contact information. And I wanted to give more like a TripAdvisor feel to this, where there were real reviews and real people. And my world back then consisted of 5-year-olds and 10-year-olds. So Marbella was known as the jet set, and people actually, I remember they were telling me, how can you make a website about families in Marbella? This is just partying and drinking and unhealthy lifestyle kind of stuff. And I said, my world, all I see are jumpy castles and beaches and, birthday parties. Like, I'm in a different world, and it exists and it's there. We just have to tell people about it. And I was like, I have to change that mindset, that image of Marbella, because it's so much more than what it was giving in the press. So we launched Marbella Family Fun, and the idea was just to work a few hours a day and get the kids involved, and we would just keep churning out the content. And evidently there's a community out there and people who really appreciated this, and I wanted to bring them in because I don't know it all. I find out things because of you, because of other people. So sharing that information where they could upload their opinions, they could upload their business, they can upload a recommendation for a friend, they can ask a question. It's a community. That's what it is, and it still is, that I think separates it from any other website. Still, I don't know in the Costa del Sol, like, where there is a real community with real people.
There certainly is. In fact, my show is 100% aimed directly at our resident community. Not that tourists aren't welcome, but it's very much about what goes on here, because it's so much more than glitz and glam. So much goes on behind the scenes. And the nice thing is that that wonderful project you built up came to my attention actually when you left, and your brother and sister-in-law, Robert and Cameron, took over. And your kids are a bit bigger, you now moved on. They then moved into that position. And now I believe your daughter is back in Marbella with you, and she's back in it again. So this really is a family affair.
It is a true family affair, really. My brother took over at just the right time because my kids had grown older, and their kids were that perfect age too. Although Marbella Family Fun, we have everyone of all ages, with children, without children. I've gotten so many messages, and they have as well. So it's not just for, you know, that nuclear family, that image we have of small children family. But I was really happy that they stepped in, because there was so many other things that were available for children in Marbella that, you know, I've already focused on the teenage years as well. So it kind of covers all of it, and they just took it to a whole new level and made it bigger and better and more fantastic, and I'm just so glad it passed on to the right hands as well. So,
well, it's absolutely fabulous that we still have Marbella Family Fun there, and as a normal organic family, it's grown, and it encompasses more people, more information, and just lovely to meet you, Zora. As a charming family, such a good-looking family, all the kids growing up beautifully. I thank you for your time. I look forward to chatting again, and thank you very much for Marbella Family Fun and everything.
Yeah, pleasure. Thank you for having me on. Have a good day.
Change if we try.